If you're squeamish or you don't like graphic situations, turn off the video right now. All right, this is your last warning. Turn this video off if you don't like graphic situations. Because what is about to follow is an incident that happened in my shop last Thursday. It might be more time passed than that as you watch this. I don't know when this video is coming out. Let me set this scene up and we'll go from there. So I was looking at something to cast in my shop and I started mixing up some pigment, and I mixed up this fluorescent purple color, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So I posted a picture of it to Instagram saying, hey, what to do with pigment that you didn't cast right color for. So what I did then was decide to make a clock out of it. And I took the mold that I was going to use and I put it over my table saw and I got it all ready. And before I went to dump the resin, I decided I needed some wood in it to make it look better. I brought it over to my bandsaw, little pieces of wood, and I cut them in half. But I had one piece that was oblong and kind of messed up, and what I want to do is flatten it a little bit, and this is where the video takes off at. There you go. There you have it. It was quick as can be. Split second, which filleted my fingers and got this little finger right here. There was a lot of things I did wrong. I ignored every safety protocol I have in my shop. Number one being that I don't wear headphones while I'm operating the jointer. The reason I don't wear headphones when I'm operating the jointer is because when you have music playing or you have headphones on, you can't hear the machine running, and you sometimes forget to turn it off. That was one thing that I'd screwed up. The next was I didn't have my safety goggles on. I always wear my safety goggles when I use this machine, but I didn't. The next thing I did was I attempted to plane down a piece of wood this small. And there's two things wrong with this, and I don't know what I was thinking. One, this is end grain. I don't put end grain over the jointer in my shop. Number two is the size. This thing's incredibly small, and I don't put pieces any less than 12 inches through the jointer here. I got it as a project to fix up, and I never got to it. I bought it about 10 years ago. You'll notice it doesn't have any safety features. It doesn't have the cutter head safety cover here. It's open. The engine doesn't, or the motor doesn't work very well. I had my buddy, after this happened, he texted me, he said, boy, 23 years in the military, 14 combat deployments, and you let a joiner clip you. He's right. It was my stupidity, my rushing around that that caused this. Now, what damage is done to my finger? I'm not going to show what it did. I don't think it needs to be shown, but just know from the first knuckle to the tip of my finger, it took off the entire nail bed on both fingers, and it cut me across my ring finger on this hand. And luckily, a hand surgeon this morning said that she didn't think I needed surgery. She said it looks good. The things that I could have done to prevent this are astronomical. First off, I talked to Leanne, my wife, a dozen times about how dangerous this thing is. You can take a piece of wood and put it on here and it'll skip across it because the blade's not going fast enough. Could have an actual machine with safety pieces on it because the cover for the safety on the knives is gone. I should have never used this thing, and I knew that, and I've been looking at buying one for a long time, saving up to buy one, but that's no excuse. I should have just bit the bullet and got one. And I was rushing. I shouldn't even rushed. It was thick set Fathom. I had 45 minutes to pour it, and probably a little bit longer. I am not going to need surgery. They're going to let it heal over, but I will have deformed fingers. Swear I'd taken my eyes off it, but in the video you can plainly see I was looking directly at the piece of wood as I set it down. And you can see as I set it down, I hit the blade and it kicks out from under me and shoves my hand right into the blade. It took me a millisecond to grab my hand out. That's how I hurt this finger right here. It just barely nicked this fingers when I grabbed my hand out of the blade. I move away from the joiner, it's still running, and I look down and I see my fingers are pretty much gone. At that point, all I want to do is wrap my hand up in something, but I didn't want to grab anything in the shop because everything in the shop is dirty and I didn't want an infection. So I ran up to the house and my dogs were going nuts. They didn't know what's going on. So I'm running to the house and I get into the house and I start looking around and I can't find a rag. I run into where we usually have our rags at, and there's none there. We were using them because we redid the bathroom sink the other day, the countertop in there. Ran into the kitchen and I saw one in there that I knew I had just cleaned up some water with, so I grabbed it and wrapped it. And then you see me running out to my vehicle and it's wrapped. I jumped in the vehicle and I back out, and then you see me driving out. On the way, I dialed Leanne. She was working. This is about 6:30 at night. First thing I said to her says, "I'm okay." She knew something was wrong. I told her, I said, "I've taken off the tips of my fingers and I'm on the way to the emergency room." I said, I'll meet you there. And she started freaking out because I was driving. She was afraid that I was going to pass out. And at that point, I had so much adrenaline in me that it was no issue at all. I had fractured the bone in my middle finger and I'd sheared off the tip of the bone in my index finger. Now, what does this mean for my channel? Well, for the next month or so, it's going to be hard for me to hold on to a tool. This is my backhand. Although it's my dominant hand, it's my backhand, so that's good. I can actually hold my tools and do what I need to on the lathe, but with my left hand. But my right hand is the one that holds the tool, and it gets pretty, when you're turning, it gets kind of choppy on the bigger bowls. So I am going to have to not do that for a month or so. So I've talked to my sponsors, and my sponsors, Total Boat and Starbond, and they're very gracious. I told them that I wanted to start doing some cutting boards and some other stuff over the channel for the next month or so until I can get back into doing bowls. So what's the moral of this story? Ken Moon's an idiot. Yeah, that's true. Ken Moon is unsafe. I was in this instance. Usually I'm very safe in my shop. I know some of my videos look like they're not, but I always take safety into account. Moral of the story is adhere to your safety rules. Figure out what you got to do. Do it right every time, and things like this won't happen to you. All right, that's enough of this wallowing in pity town here. I'm going to try to be back as soon as I can to start doing some more turning. Like I said, it's going to be about a month. Hopefully this will start healing up. I just got to make sure it feels okay to do stuff. I'm going to try to do some cutting board videos, as I said earlier. Maybe some other kind of cool things that I'm about halfway done with. I think I can still work on those. So stick around, hit that subscribe button if you think I deserve it. I know I did something stupid here, but I'm telling you about it, and I'm trying to help people learn from my mistakes. I'll be paying for this, so I don't need people telling me how stupid I am. I know how stupid it was. But if you could, hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. If you've ever done anything that you decided was kind of stupid afterwards, love to hear about it. Make me feel a little bit better. But until next video, stay cool.